So this is the agenda for today. So basically, we are here to spread awareness on financial planning and financial well-being, especially for doctors. And we'll be discussing real life stories and the financial journeys of our panelists today. To get the mindset and set the stage for the further discussions. And we'll also be discussing why financial well-being or financial planning is important for a doctor as a professional, and the pros and cons of not having it, or rather having it, right? And to help doctors understand what can be the best approach, or how should they start looking at it, and we'll answer a few questions there. We'll be debunking some common myths in between our talks, and it will be followed up with a question and answer. So basically, when we have interacted with our doctor clients and a few acquaintances who are in the medical profession, we have come across situations where we felt there is a lack of awareness, or uh, uh, the approach is not quite right when some in the way some things, some financial aspects are dealt with. So that is when we onboard them, we educate them, and bring some concepts of financial literacy, and take them through the start the financial journey. I'd like to give an example of one recent interaction which I had. I was recently introduced to one of the doctors who is an anesthetist in a leading hospital here in Bangalore, and he was introduced to me through a client, doctor client of mine. And during our conversations, he said to me that Varsha, I actually don't know how to approach somebody regarding my financial things. Like if I have any queries or something, I don't know whom to approach. So basically, he had been checking with his CA regarding let him know of any investments or anything like that, and he never got an answer. That is what he said. And then I told him that CA as a profession, as a regulation and compliance perspective, are not supposed to discuss products and advise on products, and that is why he was not the right person, maybe, and that's why you didn't get an answer there. So a question as basic as that, like, triggered me to, have more of these sessions and things like that. And then he countered my thing saying that, okay, so then I was like going to a heart surgeon for some neurological problem, something like that. Right. So, so that's when we felt we need to do it a little bit different this time, so that, our viewers who have joined us today will get to hear it from the fraternity themselves, like on their journey, what tips and suggestions they can get from you all in this aspect. So with this, I am going to start with one question, and I will go around the table with all of you doctors. So what is financial well-being according to you? So maybe we can start with Dr. Chinadre.
Okay. Financial well-being, according to me, is recently I've seen on a quote by Warren Buffett. So what he says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. It is a fantastic quote. What I heard recently, we doctors, we think is immortal. And we don't have a retirement, as you all know. Even government doctors after retire, they work up to 70, 75. Some doctors even work up to 80 also, until they develop Alzheimer's or any Parkinson's, any disease. So that there is no retirement age for us. That's what I think. Being a doctor, morning to evening, we don't know what to do even after retirement. So that's what everyone mindset is. We'll work until we die, but it's not possible. That's what after seeing this Warren Buffett quote, I think that is the best way. After 60, without much hard work, maybe a few hours here and there, we can spend our time for consultation, and money automatically should be there for us to live peacefully. I don't know how much money. We don't know how much money is required. After 20 years, the inflation goes on like this. I don't know how much money is enough. I don't have any idea. I'm sorry for that.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. Dr. Sridevi, Can you please share your thoughts on this?
See, for me, financial well-being in the sense, as he said, yes, we don't know how the future will be, till how long we'll be able to work and all. But once we stop working, we should be self-sufficient. We need not depend on others. We should be able to fulfill our needs and all.
Correct. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Some good points, Doctor. Thank you. Dr. Srivats, your turn now.
So yes, it was good to hear to both my fellow panelists and colleagues speak. I would actually quote Rachana on this, because instead of quoting some very famous personality, she actually told me many years ago. My association with Rachana is almost 20 years. And she told me something, that too much money will only bring you headache and lack of peace of mind. She told me you must earn money to the extent that it will give you 2-time meal. And she actually gave me a figure. She said, any amount that you earn beyond 1 lakh a month is only going to give you pain, because you will enter into financial management, which will lead to mismanagement. You will not know what to do with that excess money, and we will start splurging. So as a person who has gone through extreme financial well-being as well as super extreme financial distress myself, as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurial journey is not a 9-to-5 job. So anybody who's tried to do something as an entrepreneur will understand what it takes to actually survive the brunt of financial crisis, as well as enjoy the fruits of certain outcomes that you get. I firmly believe that the goal, especially since it's about doctors, the goal of medicine to me is to see its own end. So in a way, medicine is the only profession which actually wants to kill itself, because the more the disease, there may be more amount of revenue and business generated. But unfortunately, as doctors, we are here to cure people of disease and probably prevent it. And so I think our work is never ending. It is, as long as you're capable of earning or working, you should serve. And this is not business. So healthcare is a service and never a business. So that is my understanding after being in this profession for almost 27 years. So I think as long as it is feeding your needs and not feeding your greeds, you're absolutely safe, because there is no end to greed. There is absolutely no end to greed, but there is a need that we all can satisfy. So as a doctor, I would strongly think that it's a great profession. We shouldn't look at it like work, because the second thing I was startled is when the panelists, the moderator actually said she spoke to a few doctors who had no clue whom to speak with, right, about financial needs. This is one such profession where we get to meet a variety of people. And this is a soul enriching experience to be a doctor, because we see real problems of real people. Because ultimately, if you don't have health, and that's the most vulnerable time of their life that they meet you, and you can actually exchange heartfelt knowledge that is there. So I have met some excellent advisors, be it financially, be it in whichever sense. So my 2 cents is that we should all focus on the need, because nobody knows the future. There'll be an earthquake like Turkey and we're all done. So I think enjoying the present moment, if you have a 2-time square meal, be thankful and be happy. Thank you.
Very, very well said, Dr. Srivats. Yeah. To that, I have some question. Like you mentioned that, yes, of course, you come across a lot of people, varieties of people when you're there helping them with their health issues and things like that. But somewhere the conversations get restricted, or it might not be the right time to speak to them of anything other than their health, or after the hospital or treatment, how likely is it that you are in a you are conversing and having a connect with the patients?
Very good question. Actually, I have always used this opportunity in a way which is a very, very good one even for patients. So if most of you have visited healthcare facilities, all of you are anxious when you go and meet a doctor, correct? Because
Yeah.
you're in a very unsettled zone, because it is not a branch of your knowledge, and you're in a very, very unknown territory, anxious about what is the doctor going to say, what is going to happen on me, and so on and so forth. In that moment, if you actually bring about a conversation which is the strength to that particular patient, it is going to act as a relaxant for that patient, because he's going to speak about something that he is very, very confident or capable about. And he will respect the fact that you're seeking his advice, his or her advice. And that also builds a rapport with your patients. And that is so essential in patient care, because as doctors, during our training, we completely forget that we are treating human beings, because unfortunately the way medical schools and dental school train people is that they're all, kind of mannequins, but they're not mannequins. They're human beings with emotions and fears and so on and so forth. And so I actually have used it for an advantage to relax my patients, to give them their space, and their confidence levels also increases over a period of time. So I actually think it's the greatest opportunity that we have.
Nice one, doctor. I think that can be like a takeaway for our viewers, doctors who are just in the beginning of their careers, to take that as a takeaway from you. Thank you so much. So now to proceed, yes, we also agree with a lot of points that you all put together here. So financial well-being is about feeling secure and in control. Like you were saying, it's about meeting the needs and how well you are managing, keeping yourself, your family safe and secure, like just in case, because life and health both are very uncertain, like even Dr. Chinadurai was also mentioning, right? So how do we ensure security for our loved ones and for ourselves, and how do we have a better control on the financial aspects, not only financial health and everything around us, right? And it is also, financial well-being is also knowing that you can deal with an unexpected event, like the risk management to life and health, or to property, for that matter, which might, if not taken care, which might impact our dependence to a large extent. And being on track for a healthy financial future. What do I need for my future? How much, how much, what are my goals? Whether it could be children's education goals, whether it's retirement, whether it's like, creating funds to set up a hospital or any charity or anything. What is it exactly that I'm looking forward to? And how far I can be on track to ensure that these things are met. So that is financial well-being. In short, it is all about being confident and empowered, and really focusing on how to channelize my resources, my strengths, my abilities to a better outcome. So that is what we believe as well. So we have our thoughts shared by Dr. Prasad Antapur, who is an orthopedic surgeon currently based out of Bangalore, and he works for Kaveri Hospitals as orthopedic and joint replacement surgeon. He has 22 years of experience, and his specializations are sports injuries to knee, lower limb primary and revision arthroplasty and general trauma. He has worked previously as senior consultant in Hosmat Hospitals, Bengaluru, and consultant surgeon, orthopedic surgeon in United Lincolnshire, the NHS Trust in Lincoln. So I'll just play this video, and I happen to ask a question on financial freedom to him, and this is what he has to say.
Hi Darshad, thank you for asking me to speak a few words on my experience on the forum. So you've sent me 4 questions, and I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. So the first question you asked is, what is financial freedom according to me? So for me, financial freedom has many varied answers. The first and foremost is the ability of not having to think about money on a day-to-day basis. It's also not having to worry about old age and retirement, and if I would struggle financially at that stage. I'm now reaching a stage where I seriously have to think about my retirement, although as doctors, even worse as surgeons, we seem to think that we can go on forever. But I think nature has a different plan for us. So consequently, I think for me, financial freedom is not having to worry, particularly about my finances in my retirement. In this regard, I think the digital banking revolution in India has made it a lot easier. It's made it a lot easier to manage my money. And more importantly, the last point from financial freedom about me, for me rather, is not having to think twice about splurging on expensive items, like for example, a new laptop or a new bike or a new car, not have to really worry about paying the EMI on these. So those are my experiences or my thoughts on financial freedom.
So basically, he is also trying to come around the same point. Like he just wants to ensure that his retirement is taken care. He doesn't want to get into a debt trap and avoid EMIs and have a peaceful life. Per se. That is financial freedom, according to him, and I'm sure most of us agree to that. So it's all about having a peace of mind end of the day and knowing that our finances are very well taken care, 360 degrees, every aspect of it. So let's look at a few points on significance of financial well-being, especially for doctors, because a doctor's economic cycle is very different from the rest of any engineers or MBAs or could be any other profession as such. Doctor's economic cycle is very different. So it begins with a longer duration of studies and then completing their masters and things like that, and which eventually leads to a late start of their career. But once the career takes off, then there's no looking back, because then there is sudden one experience, a doctor experience, that there is sudden flow of income. So what typically happens, doctors, at this point in time? So Dr. Chinnadura, if you can share, like when you reached the stage of your career in the beginning, like what did you do?
Yeah, as you clearly point out, we even at the age of 30, we get money from your parents and study. This is one of the profession where, after MBBS, MD, DM, by the time you complete a DM, it takes 30 years of age. By the time we get married, we have children, and it is a very difficult phase for us in that post after MBBS to until you find a consultant job is very pathetic field for us. That's what many doctors don't advise that children to take the profession, as doctor said, he said, Bharadwaj said, it's too male, it's not enough. Because I'm from, one of the very, very well-known mission hospital in India. Very unfortunate. The health and, education should be free and it should be controlled by government. Unfortunately, NHS in a bad shape now because health expenditure is very sky high. Government cannot afford. Private people, they have to have insurance. Now insurance taken over completely. They're spoiling the market now. During the COVID time, because I'm an ICU specialist, I see an average, 15 to 20 deaths per month. As Bharadwaj said, I'm sitting with the family every day. Every day, they are sharing all their experience with me. They lost the loved ones, financial disability, not able to pay even COVID time, whether father died, most of them, mother is unable to even pay for the, the fees, school fees in the school, college, totally is disaster. They don't have a plan for even insurance, health insurance, no health insurance plan. What about other plan? There's no money for them. The government won't come and help you. Government won't come and help you. So we as a doctor, we had a lot of fear, even among our doctors, we have a lot of fear. Even some doctors who died in our community, we all generated some fund to their family, because he also didn't have a backup money. So we start earning at the age of 30, start from, 30, it's like somewhere some 10% of our peak earning. And we reach at around 40 years of age, only we reach around maybe a 70 to 80%. Our earning is between 40 to 60, 40 to 60. Unfortunately, now this doctor field is so much stressful. Some few people lost their life between this age. When they're reaching the 40, they may MI, they have a stroke and they're dying more because even from the young age, we are the toppers in the class. In the school, we are supposed to be toppers. In the college, we are toppers. So we don't have any other relaxation. Being a doctor, we don't have involved in sports. We don't know extracurricular activities. We are confined. We are introverts. Most of the doctors, not everyone, most of the doctors introvert. And full there is bookworms and read and no social life for us. There is no evening drink for us, actually, no weekend drink for us. Most of the people, I'm saying that, maybe 10 to 20% of different breeds. So people who migrate to UK, US, that is a different case, because they have limited number of working hours. They start seeing the money early in their life, and maybe 50, 55, 60, they come back. In fact, our contemporaries, because I'm now 50 years old, my contemporaries in UK and Australia, other places, they work maximum 40 hours per week. But for me, it's not like that. I'm working 24/7, 365 days. Being a critical position is very difficult for me to do that. So that, see, after 40 only earn the money, After 40 earn money, so that by the time we retrospectively look back, our kids are come back to 10th standard, 12th standard. We have to look after their education. They want to do medicine. Now they want to do engineering. No much private, government colleges available. They need huge capital. I can give free care to my patients. Who will give me free food? Nobody will give a free food. See, I'm from the Mission Hospital. One of the leading, I don't want to mention the leading mission hospital in India. Okay. There, we are grown up saying that service to the mankind, service to the mankind. Unfortunately, their kids are all spoiled. There's no money for their kids to educate. They're not able to educate the parents. The kids have started one day asking questions to the parents. You may be, devoted to the human mankind. Why I have to suffer? You're not having money to send me abroad education. You're not having money to send me to decent engineering college, decent medical college. So why, because of dad and mom, why you want to do social surveys? It's not given birth to, babies. Now I've seen literally my communities also changed. For example, now many doctors who are getting married now, they don't want, first of all, they don't want to get married. And if they want to get married, they don't want to have children. They're saying, why you want to bother about them? Even they won't look after the age of 60, 70. Now what happened? So many old age homes have come. Because all are going, they're saying that I need 1 crore or 2 crore money in somewhere in the bank. So that deposit, I can sit around in the old age home, because there is people to talk to me, people to tender love to me. So that when we reach 40, but anyway, when the money suddenly flows to us, frankly speaking, we are confused what to do, because until then we don't have money. We borrow here and there, and we are a hand and mouth. Only that up to age of 35, 40, everyone from outside thinking doctors make a lot of money. It's not true, actually. Many doctors not making money, because we are an uncertainty world. We built an hospital to the certain extent. Suddenly, unexpected death happened. Unexpected, somebody throw the stone on the hospital. Hospital disaster happened. From next day, no patient walk into the hospital, and the hospital will be bankrupted. Now you can see most of the nursing homes are in the verge of closure. Most of the nursing homes, because they're not able to generate money, because not all corporate hospitals come, they know how to do marketing, how to generate money. Most of the doctors in the midst of uncertainty in this world. But whatever money we earn, we don't want to lose in invest unknown territory, and we don't want miss it. That's what I told the other day when Rachana, we are safe as like gold. Okay, we want to invest something in gold, maybe some plot, site we'll invest, and some money, no FD, definitely. FD is waste of, 4.55% only. We don't want FD. And maybe some of my doctors want to invest in mutual, not in market. Unfortunately, what happened, there are a few doctors addicted to the market. They don't look after the patients. As soon as morning 9 o'clock, they'll glued into the market. They do the daily trading they're doing. Very unfortunate. We are not expert in that. We don't know market sentiments. It may crash, like after Adani's, it may crash. So suddenly what happened, even mutual fund after 5 years, 10 years, sometimes we see how much investors, same money is there. Sometimes the negative is so that we are in midst of confusion. Maybe definitely the wealth managers definitely help us. But as a doctor community, generally what happened, we are introvert, we are in uncertainty. When the money comes, we don't know where to invest. We invest in gold, and safest investment, we do that. But the wealth manager can help us to maybe can invest in markets. That's my view.
Yeah, very well said, Dr. Chena. Here I have one question. Like, what happens in other professions or other people around? So, let's say they get into a job or a company or a corporate. So, right from the first paycheck, there is a PF component which is automatically getting saved as a retirement thing. So that is automatically happening, whether you like it or not. And slowly, when you realize that yes, this is going to help me, then they will start increasing the allocation there. So how do we bring about this awareness, like whether that should be a part of the curriculum, one part of it, or like is it there or is it not there? Like, what is your suggestion?
It is not there. For example, most of the doctors, see what happened. Only 10% of doctors working in government setup. They have a fixed income. They do that. 90% is the private setup. In private setup, we are contracted laborers. Every year we have to renew our contract. This is no permanent job. It is a renewal of contract. We don't know next year whether the hospital will renew us contract. If there is no renewal of contract, we will have zero income from next month first onwards. That is always fear. If you're not able to perform what they're paying this month, this year, next year, you are not sure whether we get the job. They may chase you out. When you chase out one hospital, other hospital may not give the job. There's no new hospitals are coming up now. So what happens now? Literally, we are contracted doctors. We getting a salary after the TDS. There is no PF, no nothing. We have to initiate ourselves. If we need our future fund, I have a PPF. In fact, I have PPF. I have Betty scheme for my daughters. My wife is very particular about, saving those money. See, what we have generally, what we say is that at least 50%, whatever money comes, as sir said, Bharatwaj sir said, if you earn, 50% spend, remaining 50%, you save it for your future meal. Even if you don't go out, lavishly spend, all that. But we initiated our own PPF and we have some fund. A lot of money goes for our insurance also, because if some uncertainty happens, we insure ourselves for few crores in case anything happens to me. My family should not go bankrupt. So all the house been insured, my car has been insured, and in fact we went for LIC in the future. Income benefit. We all done it, but I think these investments should be done, for a safer side for the future.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Rachana. Dr. Sridevi, what did you do at this point of time of your career? Was it something different? Dr. Srivats, you have to say something? Maybe after Sridevi, maybe we can check back.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, please go ahead. Yeah.
See, like as he said, like till the age of 30, 40, we will not be having enough income to invest somewhere or spend somewhere, because whatever we'll be getting will be enough for our expenses and all. And later we'll be earning, but we might not be having an idea where to invest and all. And being a woman, we'll have other responsibilities in the family, and we will have breaks in our career also, and we might not have income during that period. So luckily, I was in touch with Rachana from last 15 to 20 years, and she used to guide us where to invest and where not to invest and all. And through her, we did our investment. That she used to guide us like, okay, right now it's in the future for the kids' education, their marriage and all, you need to invest right from now onwards. So
right. Yeah.
With her help, we started investing and doing. But I don't know how many of them are meeting people like Rachana and getting the guidance like that. So I wish many get that guidance from someone where to invest properly and advise them, okay, this is how it is and all. It would be great for everyone, because see, as by the time you start earning, you will like to spend in different areas, and hardly you will be saving some amount, but you will be getting used to that kind of expenditure. And if you don't save that amount from the beginning, in the later time you can't save it, and your expenses, basic needs also will be increasing because you are used to those kind of expenditures and all. So
True.
I think from the school period itself, everyone should have the knowledge of saving and where to spend and where to save and all those information, so that once they start earning, they can start saving and invest for their future,
True.
which is not there neither in the school period or during the professional period also. And we don't have that much of time to think in that line also,
Yeah.
unless and until someone known to you is close by to guide you. Okay, no, you have to be investing on these things from this time and all. So like the term insurance and all, if you start investing from the beginning, from your younger 20s and all, it won't be that much, but hardly how many people know about that.
Yeah.
So if you can take a step on giving that knowledge to all the people, and maybe in schools also, if we can start the basic knowledge, I think it would be great for everyone.
Yes, very well said. So I see that some schools have started small concepts of activities for school children
Mhm.
very recently. I was interacting with my daughter's friend who's in 8th or 9th grade, and she was working on a project related to budgeting. So I think slowly somewhere things are coming into the picture. But more so, see, they're too young to understand these things. But once they take up a professional career or education, at that stage of time when the practical things are shared to them, like once you get on the field, like what you should be aware of, so that will be more relevant. That is what we feel, and we totally agree that many a times a lot of doctors or anyone for that matter will not come across getting good financial planners and how to go about things and things like that. That is where we also believe in it as an organization, like we really work hard to add that value to our clients, to whomever we are interacting. So, like Shivat sir and Dr. Chinna, they were also mentioning that it's about it shouldn't be a business; it's a profession, right? So we also believe in that, and that is why like we are also tying up with doctors to help us get to a forum and spread this awareness, and that is why we are here in this session today. So thank you for bringing that up here. Yes, Dr. Srivats, you had raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. A couple of things I just wanted to bring it, especially Dr. Chinnadura. I wanted to mention that contractual work employment is not legal in this country. So most doctors are not aware of this. And all of us keep signing these documents and keep getting insecurity about it. Please cross-check. Somebody has to raise their voice and bring it up to the notice of the HR that you cannot bind me by these contracts. So kindly look into that. That may get you rid of some burden that's there on your mind. You cannot be bound by a contract on work employment as a doctor. Second is, I think this is a more urban problem that we are talking about, the insecurities that set in because of financial constraints and stuff like that, because it's a fancied future that we are always looking forward for, which is a derivative of a comparative scale of living. Unfortunately, especially in cities like Bangalore, we have only one person to compare with. Who is that? IT professional. So all doctors truly don't have an actual idea of the life of an IT professional. We all think that they just sit in front of a computer, sit in air-conditioned rooms where people are giving them free coupons and freebies and free weekend getaways and drinks and holidays, and they are paid crores of rupees. But that's not the fact. That's not the fact. This is the projection. It's like people putting up posts on LinkedIn, right? It'll be a small thing, but on LinkedIn, I'm honored to this and that and stuff like that. So the first thing that we all as doctors must understand is it is probably not the right comparison. I would rather compare myself to a soldier who's sitting in the India-Pakistan border, earning probably a meager 20,000 salary, not sleeping a single night with amidst snakes and scorpions and the fear that some bullet or some bomb will hit him and he'll die. And what about his family? So there are two ways to compare yourself. So comparison by its own standard breeds to this insecurity. The first and foremost thing that every individual who's born must and should do is to insure his life and probably have something like a term plan and insure his health. If you do a survey on how many doctors have health insurance, you'll be startled. Right? This is the hard truth of life. Now, without these basic fundamentals, because nobody knows what is the amount of gas that is there in my bike. We don't have a gasoline meter to show us. God hasn't given to any one of us. Anybody in this forum does not know how long they are going to live, whoever doctor it may be, right? So we are driving a bike with unknown amount of fuel, but we all have a destination that I have to reach Himalayas. We don't know. And that's the reality of life. What can you do to protect some of your family members and things like that and yourself financially instead of burdening them are these two steps. Beyond that, it is not worth getting stressed, being compared to 10 other people and trying to spoil your life. Where I say that our work has to be looked at service, I don't mean that it has to be free. I have faced a situation where when my son was studying in a school, the school authorities came to me and said, please conduct a dental checkup camp and speak in our school regularly for free. I said, why should I do it for free? They said, because your son is studying there. I said, you haven't given him education for free. I've paid lakhs of rupees for his education, right? If you're ready to do that, we'll do a barter system. Doesn't matter. They said, no, we will look at it. I said, please, I don't believe in this education system at all. So even if you throw him out, it doesn't matter to me. But the point is that when I say service, every profession has to be looked at like service. Nothing is transactional. Even a software developer who is working in his or her profession, if he looks at, like you guys are doing, you're serving the society in a sense by educating all of us on why is it important to have some financial awareness, right? Transactions and making money happen as a byproduct, but that's not the primary. But unfortunately, today, everybody is thinking that everything that I talk, see, do should be a revenue generation activity. That's not the way life is built. So this is my understanding of how a person should actually view, because that will deburden you a lot from unnecessary anxiety and stress. And as you're working, like all my fellow panelists said, we don't know whether there will be corona tomorrow and all our businesses will shut down, whether there will be something else and all these hospitals will shut down. Nobody knows, but that's universal truth, right? That's universal truth. So instead of thinking of that and also getting too aggressively thinking about these things and spoiling the present is something that I'm not in favor of. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Shall I come in? Yeah. That brother is excellent. See, that's what every human being should feel. What you're feeling, that it is called sense of what I call detachment. We don't want too much money in life. Okay, I need 2 meals a day. Even my auditor close friend, he tells that Chinna, even after you have 100 crore money, you have 2 idlis in the morning. Only you can't eat. By the time you develop diabetes, hypertension, you can't enjoy. That is a cycle of life. Actually, when you walk, you see someone in the cycle, it's better. When I cycle, you bike is better. Bike is a car better. Those going in car, saying back, oh, if I able to walk, it is better than going in the car. It is like a cycle. You know that. That's what is the truth. The truth of the life is that. But by the time we reach the truth of life, maybe we stick 50 plus, maybe most of the people get nanam only between 50 to 60. We all reaching that stage. I can understand that. See, now when we are educating our kids now for what to choose, for example, my daughter's in 12th, they want to choose the career. They're asking me which is better. That's why I keep telling them, if you have empathy, if somebody else suffering, you choose the profession, doctor profession. You should be empathetic. That's why I tell many of my doctor colleagues, don't come to this profession to earn money. This is not profession to earn money, because unfortunately we are making money out of somebody else suffering. Somebody else is suffering. For example, if somebody comes and beg you for food, I'm hungry, you give food and asking for me, it is not fair. It's not fair. Like education also, if somebody is ignorant, you educate them and getting money after. See, food, your education and healthcare, should be, nominal charges should be there. It should not be exorbitant surgery. The cycle will change. The world will change, definitely. World will change. That's what being a doctor, you should be more empathetic towards somebody else suffering. Money is a byproduct. Even if you say no, it should come automatically. You do not chase money. If you chase money, I'm earning 1 lakh, the other doctor earning 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs per month, you will be more and more trouble. As I told, financial plan is very, very important. How much you earn, you save in that. Don't aim for high. Money is a byproduct. You do your job. I agree completely with that.
Yeah, very beautifully said. Totally agree with you. That's a takeaway for us as well. So moving on to our further segment today. So we happen to ask Dr. Prasad, like at what stage of your career did you realize that you need to simplify and organize your finances? So the main idea to ask this question was like, when was the actual realization? Because see, as doctors, most of the times there is no less like dearth of money. So there's like enough money coming in and quite comfortable life. So what is that trigger point, or when did that occur to you? Was mainly the intention. So let me just play that video quickly.
Your second question is, at what stage of my career did you realize that you need to simplify and organize your finances? So very quickly on, I think it was in my early 40s, probably 40 or 41, I started my consultant job, and also I had a private practice on the side. So at that stage, I sat down and I worked out how I am going to pay in for my retirement, because certainly old age poverty is not easy thing. And in today's changing generational values, for us to depend on our children to look after us is not acceptable. So in this regard, so I sat down and I worked out the differences between investing in real estate and investing in pensions. So I have an employer's pension into which I pay a significant amount. However, the problem is my employer is the government in UK, so consequently the goalpost keeps changing according to the political climate. For example, the previous government a few years ago imposed a cap of how much can be paid tax-free into the pension, and consequently we had to pay about 55% of tax on any further payments we make into the pension fund. Now, the current government has realized that the doctors are leaving early because of these financial penalties. So what they have done on one hand is to raise the limit of how much you can invest in your fund. But on the other hand, they've actually extended the retirement age from 60 to 65, and in the next couple of years, it's going to go up to 68. So that is something that we can't really trust as a long term, and certainly I'm not sure I want to be working at the current intensity till I'm 68. So that is something that I really thought about, and in that regard, I invested in about 5 to 6 properties in and around London. So the idea was to give myself financial security and peace of mind that my retirement will be taken care of.
Yeah. So with all the interactions that we are having today, one thing is coming out very common is that the realization is around the age of 40. And like Dr. China and Dr. Sridevi were also mentioning, by the time you realize there are a lot of things following you, like your family, your children's educations, you have to save for your retirement. So everything, comes catching up very soon. And, that is when even, Dr. Prasad approached us. He's in his, mid 40s, and that is when we sat down. And every doctor's life, career, and journey is very different. For that matter, every financial plan that we do till date, every financial plan is like a learning for us also. So every situation is different. But in this case, the UK pension was a concern for him. There was quite a good amount of money accumulated there, but since the dynamics in his life changed and he had to move back, to India and things like that. So that is when he approached us, and we tried to sort out and streamline a certain part of his things. And we are still in that journey, and we are still doing some changes to his financial plans and things like that. So basically, life events, your stage of career, and the realizations basically come a little late in a doctor's life. So now it's not only about yourself managing money or investing or taking care of your retirement or your practice needs and things like that. It is also about your family's financial goals, as the costs of education, like we were already discussing on this. It is crazy these days, correct? So when it comes to family's financial goals, I would like to hear it out from you, Dr. Sridevi. So I hear from Dr. Ms. Rachna that your daughter is also an aspiring medical profession.
No.
Right?
She is in the field of fashion designing.
Okay, wonderful. So, the needs are different. Basically, children's mindsets are different. There is, of course, this generational gap and everything. So, how did you start looking at it like a goal, and how did the approach start, basically?
See, we started investing for her from her, second, third year of phase, slowly, little by little. And we know that is not enough, because the cost of education is increasing every year by year. So though we are right now, what we planned is we will invest for her every year, and whatever we can spend right now without taking from the investment, that would be great. The day it comes like, okay, it's not possible, then we can reach that investment things. Otherwise, we can use it for her future further studies and marriage, and lot more are there to come. So as I said, in this phase, when we are having enough income, we can put it for her education and at the same time invest for the future. But how long it will be and how much and all, you all have to help us with the investment.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. Like the video that I played of Dr. Prasad, he was also mentioning there that he has, invested in some real estate and things like that. So when it comes to goals planning, so what happens in a doctor's life and, financial journey, typically with the interactions that we have had, is because of the lack of time and, or not knowing whom to approach, they end up investing in a real asset, which is mostly real estate or, FD for that matter. So what is the problem with these is, one is the over concentration. You're concentrating all your earnings into one basket, and the returns or the yields might not be inflation beating. That is one. Next, very important part is the liquidity aspect. So let's say you are doing that for a goal like your child education, investing in real estate, for example. So when the goal is approaching, it is very hard to liquidate the property for that particular need. Right, so there should be some hand holding, and there should be an approach to how you deal with making these investments. Of course, real estate is a part of the entire asset allocation or basket of things that we say, but to what extent can one go to it? Whether it is 20% of the overall size of your portfolio, or 30% or 40%, that that scientifically looking at it aspect comes with somebody who is professionally dealing with it, right? So,
I agree with you, but the thing is that the doctors are so much busy in their regular routine work and all. Though they are in the mindset of investing somewhere, they don't get the time to find out where to invest and all, and they have to think 10 times before taking someone's help also, whether they are holding a proper hand or or not. It's very difficult for them to take that step.
True.
So they have to start, though they are so much busy in their work and all. I feel they have to take some time of their precious time and try to meet someone who can help them properly and start investing. We can't leave it for tomorrow. If you leave it for tomorrow, the tomorrow is never going to help you. It's never going to come.
Very well said, doctor. So yeah, my next slide precisely touches this point basically. So what is the importance of goal-based planning or financial planning is? So a financial planning is like a financial health check. It helps an individual, to understand where do I stand today, and what is my future looking like? What should I be looking at? So here, the picture, has a small description there. It's like bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. So it's like picturizing your whole next 30, 40 years right now and what adjustments need to be made. What if I don't make these adjustments? How will my, things look, 20, 30 years down the line? So goal-based approach is very, very important, especially so for doctors who start a little late and then things are piled up for them. Correct. So investing or doing savings without having a plan or without having a goal is like shooting in the dark. So we don't know where it's going. So a direction is very important. Financial planning or goal-based planning does exactly that. It sets a direction. It gives you a roadmap on how the approach should be and where you should be going. So it will ensure better cash flow management. Like in many doctors, are earning, maybe from multiple sources. There could be a consultancy income, there's a clinic income and things like that. And most of the times, there is also fees coming in like a cash also. Like, how do we manage that? So financial plan is a 360-degree approach to gives a holistic view of how each and every element of one's financials need to be taken care. So the planner sits with you, discusses, chalks out a plan, and helps you to how to go about it. It also accounts for inflation, especially when we are calculating our retirement expenses. What do we need in the future? And especially so because the healthcare costs are like shooting up. You must be knowing it better than any of us here. So right, so all those aspects need to be taken care when we are calculating. Whether it's for education, whether it's for retirement, how to establish SMART goals. With SMART, we mean your specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely goals. Just by saying that I will, set up my hospital, that's not enough. When do you really want to set up? What is the kind of, size or whatever you are planning? So we need to make it more numerical, time bound, and see how to go about it. It should be realistic also. So financial plan helps. A financial planner asks you these types of questions, which will bring about much more clarity. It will be like an eye-opening exercise at the end of it. So it manages uncertainties also, like the risk aspects of it. So it provides a 360-degree approach to liquidity, your current and your future. Basically, it's like having a balanced meal. So having a healthy meal, enough of carbs, enough of proteins, enough of fats, and everything like sorted, and which can take care of your long-term health as such. So during our conversation, we are looking at risk elements. So according to you, what is the risk element for doctors, both personal and professional? Because you are dealing in a high stress environment, you're working in a high stress environment. Dr. China, would you like to take that?
Yes. So, see, in our profession, there are the three departments very stressful. One is emergency, next one is anesthesia, other one is critical care. I'm heading the critical care. I'm heading almost 40-bedded ICU with 18 doctors with me. Almost 50% of patients are very sick. Anytime they can die. Facing relatives time and again, they're upset. A lot of cross inquiries from US, UK, other doctors keep calling. They're testifying whether you're doing the right treatment. It is a very, very, very stressful. Very stressful. Sometimes unexpected death happens. We are also human being. See, initial phase of our career, we feel so bad about any death, and we come back home and discuss at home. But after that, we have decided not to discuss anything at home. Any patient's condition should not discuss it. That's what I keep advising my juniors. The time you leave the hospital, you have to detach yourself you all were thinking about the hospital. But once go home, your life is different, a wife, kids, and something different. But unfortunately, I keep getting calls in the night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Sometimes I get a call 1 o'clock, I cannot sleep for 2 hours. Whole family's sleep is gone. My wife's sleep is gone. Still we are struggling. But by doing meditations, relaxation, we able to get rid of the stress. But still, stress is more. Sometimes we feel because all other doctors, what happens, they admit patients in ICU, they go back to sleep. They go because by critical care physicians we cannot do that. Even you have to hold the phone. But since I'm the heading, I cannot able to switch off my phone and sleep, because my fellow consultants, once go home, they won't be disturbed. Maybe I'm heading the department as administrative capacity. I'm not able to do that. But I don't take too much into my heart. Like if even youngest people dying in my ICU, I'm sorry, I done my best. Unfortunately, lost life. It is his destiny. I have to come out of the stress. I'm trying to do that.
Yeah, very well said. It's really important that you medical professionals do engage in therapies like yoga, meditation. Dr. Srivas, I'd like to ask you here, because you have your own practice, your own setup, right? So how do you deal with segregating your business risks and your personal and professional? And what is your approach, or and can you guide, like how do you suggest juniors, or maybe how to look at it? Meanwhile, before you answer that, I'd like Sanjay to open the forum for our audience if they have any questions to ask our panelists today. So yeah, Dr. Srivas, you can please answer that.
Yeah, so I deal with it slightly differently, because I don't segregate. I don't believe there's anything called as work-life balance, and it is you're one human being working as well as living your life. So I have not yet understood the concept of work-life balance and how can we disconnect from it, right? Because our profession demands availability to your patients, because ultimately that's what is your profession all about. So I have tried to take it in my stride. Yes, it is extremely stressful. Like I do understand the stress levels that people working like Dr. Chinnadurai in the ICU and all go through. Also, to just pass on some statistics, among all medical professionals, the highest amount of stress levels are on dentists. So dentistry is the most stressful profession, because in medical care, it is quote unquote a needed care that a patient has to go through. The stress is about outcome. But dentistry is yet not classified there. Dentistry, people think is that it's a fancy thing, it's a cosmetic thing, and then I'm paying huge amounts of money to the dentist. And we are on a disadvantage because we operate on people who are not sedated or anesthetized, and who are extremely fearful of this particular entity of the drill getting into their mouth. And the drills that we use rotate at anywhere between 2 lakh to 6 lakh rotations a minute. We have almost nil visibility. And if the patient moves their tongue or lip even a bit, it's all fully torn and gone. And finally, when the outcome is not so great, you have to bear the brunt. Unfortunately, we are heavily dependent on not just our skills, but we are also dependent on laboratories that actually manufacture prostheses. And so it is almost impossible, because like Dr. Chinnadurai gets, I get every other day at least 2 to 5 calls every night saying that I'm having a toothache, and toothache only comes at night, because when you lie down, the blood pressure to your face increases, and then the infection actually gives you that throbbing pain. So dentists actually operate. So our clinic operates a 24/7 emergency home dental care service. We were the first in the country to introduce that. So we had a dedicated team and a van, which was a dental ambulance, which will go to patients' home and attend even in the middle of the night. So having said this, I think the only way out of this is to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, it is called stress. If you enjoy what you do, it is called love. So it is as simple as that. So the more we try to disconnect, and with all due respects to all the financial planning and everything, I may sound very philosophical, but the truth of life, everything can go haywire. Because 30 years from today, we don't know how we are going to be. and what is going to be the situation. In all good aspects, we have to plan, but we should never be stressed and sure about that this is going to be the outcome. Number one. Number two is the fact that I wouldn't go too overboard. Like I have a son who's 18, who's writing his 12th standard exams. I was just texting him. So I think today was his final exam and stuff like that. Now you can do what best you can. You can only take the horse to the water. You can't make it drink, right? I have my own very close friends who are planning for their kids' education abroad, and they want to save 6 crores per child. And so today, our life also, we are living in poverty and misery and stress. So the whole financial planning and goal by itself should not become a stress. And then you're spoiling your own life. And I have seen at least 3 out of the 5 people who actually graduated from 12th, they all got ranks and got merit seats. What happens to all the stress that you have taken to earn that money, thinking that your son or daughter is a dumb person who will not get, and so I have to spend 6 crores. Finally, somebody said, no, I just want to be a musician. I don't want to study all. What are you going to do? You have to go behind some professional music academy, which will teach you this. So I think going overboard about all of these things is not my cup of tea, either out of experience in life or out of my own background. So just to give you give everybody who's a listener here, it's a very unique story. Unfortunately, he was my father, and I'm very proud of it. My dad was an orphan at the age of 2. Until 26, he did not have a slipper, and he was on the footpath. From there, my father and his brother went to the Harvard University, and they were one of the most accomplished people who I can always rever about. So maybe my DNA is also different, because I've heard the stories of hardship that they have faced. So for them, the comparison was that they would eat a meal once in 3 days. So the difficulties that we are talking about are all of the A-class countries and A-class comfort that we are looking at, and that's never ending. So the way to look at it is, be in your profession, be diligent, be honest, be truthful. Your stress levels will be low. Whatever comes. Do plan for everything. Do have advisors like Rachna and Anil, who have been my backbone too, who have given me the right advice, and I go by professional advice, blind advice. So I don't question. Rachna, I have never asked her a question in the last so many years. I have said, here it is. This is what I have made. You please take and use it to the best ability that is possible. So trust is the third last lesson that we all need to learn. We have to trust in someone. Every relationship is based on trust. So trust in your own abilities, trust in the fact that there are good things and good people in life, and trust that good things will happen. Everything will fall in place. These are my 2 cents. Not philosophical, but actually truth.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Srivats, for that. So yes, basically, like you were saying, that we don't know how our 30 years are going to look, right? So that is where a financial planner exactly helps you with, like, if there is an uncertainty, then what should be the way around it, right? So most of the times, we come across people who are just focused on returns. Like, they want to have everything related to markets, because they keep seeing the returns, the kind of returns. But there is the other side to it also. You should have enough safety net also. That is where we try and educate them to look on the other side. How do you ensure a guaranteed aspect to your retirement cash flow? What if the markets are not performing when you're starting to pull out from the corpus for your retirement, and when it is not a good time to pull out, let's say, for an education goal? So what should be the plan B for that, right? So these are the things that we bring in in a full-fledged comprehensive financial planning. And one more important aspect is the tax planning. Most of the doctors need tax planning advice. So tax planning does not necessarily mean minimizing the taxes. It also means, alongside tax saving investments, which can cover the other aspects of the financials, like covering health and life requirements like insurance policies, How can your ATC, section ATC investments can take care of your goals and things like that? How can you structure it basically in a better manner so that, things are handled in a more, professional way? So there are like different stages to a financial plan, like you can see on the, slide there. It starts with an accumulation phase, then wealth protection phase, then you will start converting wealth into income. All of that said and done, in a doctor's life, there is abundant wealth, whether you like it or not, whether you need it or not, you will see that there is, excess or surplus more than what you need. And then the question comes, how do you effectively transfer that wealth? Like after me, what? And how do we plan for that? So then comes the, idea of, writing a will and estate plan. And very importantly, these things need to be taken care when a person is in good health, when he or she is capable to take those kind of decisions, when he or she is in sound mind frame, right? So, financial plan also touches on these aspects and starts nurturing and building a flow of things where, certain aspects at least, you can start looking at, doing a will, or if you are looking at a charity, maybe you have surplus and you want to do a charity kind of a thing. How do we do that? And setting up a trust and things like that. So with that, Sanjay, if we have some questions, we can, keep the forum open so that, participants can raise their hands and ask questions to our doctors who are, sharing wonderful thoughts and approaches here with us. So with that, I would like to just play one last video with Dr. Rajesh Pawar. I'll just quickly read out his profile for the viewers. He is an orthopedic surgeon currently working in the NHS UK. He has about 15 years of experience in orthopedics. He has worked with Neot Hospitals, Chennai, and Aster Hospitals in Muscat, Oman. So he has, some points to say on why it's important to have a financial plan.
Hello there. My name is Dr. Pawar. I'm one of the orthopedic surgeons. I work in UK. The idea of making this video is to let you know how important it is for a doctor to have a financial advisor. I'm not telling this because my sister-in-law is a financial advisor, but you need it. We need it. As we are all specialists in some specialty and we do some surgeries, and patients, they come to us, believe us. In the same way, we need to believe on the financial advisors and take their advice. The difficulties what we face generally are, one, we actually don't know how to save money. Two, we do not know how to calculate the inflation and how to work towards it to make it better, so that we all have a comfortable life after 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. And the other bit is how to save the tax as well. So my suggestion is that we should all have a financial advisor who can get us to what we want and how we can save further more. The risks are that we might put this whatever saved money into some portfolio where we wouldn't benefit and we wouldn't calculate the risk associated with it. Financial planner can definitely give us a better idea about it. I strongly suggest that we should all have a financial planner. I do some savings here, but most of my savings are back home, which I try to get it multiplied over the next few years with the help of a financial advisor. Hope this helps. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so like every doctor is a specialist in his or her particular field, right? So doctors should feel free to approach, financial planners and advisors. So basically, they don't have to move with them with a big bag, big chunk of money, to start investing and things like that. Maybe you can start interacting slowly, see the approach of the planner, and if you are comfortable, you always have an option to go with it or not go with it, right? So you can start conversing at least to get an idea, like, what are the advisors trying to say, and if you feel that they are trying to push a product to you or do something else that you're not expecting out of it, you always have the option to say, no. But the first step is always to, go ahead and approach somebody who is a professional and who is an expert in that particular field. All because, doctors don't have the time take care of a lot of aspects of finances. So we have one question in the chat box. So it's from Mr. Madhusudan. He says today new finance amendment will makes debt funds taxable at par with FD. So is going forward mutual fund losses is cheap because we can simply consider safe, secure FD, post office schemes rather than debt funds now, because mutual funds is no more going to give us any tax benefit. So to answer that question, Mr. Madhusudan, see, taxability is something which is dynamic. It keeps changing as per the economic situations, and more so with regulations and things like that, right? So the best approach to do is again, not put all your eggs in one basket. So you should have a mix of things when you're considering a debt aspect or a debt allocation, in your portfolio. You should have a good mix of it. And when you are specifically looking for options for your retirement, you should consider options like guaranteed tax-free income plans, which are like, insurance based, and, which are doing the right rounds now. So having a good mix of these things will ensure that, you are taking care of the tax aspects as well.